We're back, people. We're back with another one. And another one. Yeah, we're switching it up a bit. I think I've done enough whinging in the morning. Yeah. There's always someone worse off. So we're switching it up and we're doing a review. We're going to be reviewing the Walk NIVEA Soft versus the original NIVEA Soft. Now, this is a product that I've used personally for nearly 20 years. Yeah, I think since my mid-20s I started using this. And I originally started using it because it would always win, the blind tests, the objective tests. It'd always come out on top. So, yeah, I recently got delivery of the new vegan formula. New vegan formula. With a couple of stars. Okay. Don't know if you can see that. Little green vegan formula. There we go. And then we have the original. This was pretty hard to get. This was pretty hard to come by. It fell off the back of a truck, shall we say. It's actually a German one. I had to go and see the Germans to get one. But we got one. We got the original formula, and we got the Walk. Now, when it first got delivered, suspicion, as soon as I seen vegan, new formula, it's a new formula, it's a vegan formula. Suspicion. That's the first thing that come to mind. So, I kind of realised that if I was going to do an objective test, I needed them side by side, and yeah, I needed to, because it's psychosomatic sometimes, isn't it? They've changed the formula, they've done something to it, they've changed something you've used for, a couple of decades, and obviously suspicion's going to be there straight away. So, yeah, I went to the trouble of getting the original formula, and yeah, for the last few days I've been objectively testing them. My findings, let's just say it straight away, it's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same in consistency. It's not the same in colour. Let's just start there. I don't know if this is going to come across on the camera, but let's start with the Walk one. An almost translucent product, almost a certain smooth, incredibly smooth, and almost translucent, watery, I'd say. Viscosity, I think is the word. But, consistency, the thickness, however you want to say, it's kind of different. It's changed. The consistency's changed. The viscosity's changed. It's not the same. It has almost a translucent sort of look to it. It smells the same. Same smell, same, but it's different. And objectively so, because I don't know if this is going to come across as well. That's the original. Not as smooth, and almost, there's a slight graininess to the texture. A slight graininess. It's not as smooth, it's not as translucent. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if it's going to come across, but it's clear. It's clear as day when you see them side by side. It's changed. It's not just suspicion. It's not just, in my mind. It's not psychosomatic. It's objectively different, side by side. Now, the motivation for this change, I don't think it's in the best interest of the product. I'll be honest. I think it's ideologically motivated compromise. an ideologically motivated contrivance. You know, they've changed the product to appease a certain ideology, and maybe there's a financial motivation also. You know, maybe it's cheaper to make. But yeah, I've looked a little deeper into it. I've dug a little bit, done a bit of digging. And the main differences that make a vegan is basically changing something called, let me get this right, E-carrot, which is a lanolin alcohol, which is an ingredient made from sheep's wool. No, sheep's wool. No, you're not hurting the sheep. You're not testing it on the sheep. Being cruel to animals. It's an ingredient that they process from sheep's wool. And what it's been replaced with is hydrogenated rapeseed oil. Doesn't have a good ring to it, does it? Hydrogenated rapeseed. Oh no, I don't like the sound of that. So yeah, that's basically the main difference in it. But, that one ingredient, I think there's something a little special about it. Because it's an ingredient that they've went to the trouble of copyrighting. Why would you go to the trouble of copyrighting something that wasn't a little bit special, that didn't have something about it? That didn't have a little something, a little... You wouldn't go to the trouble, would you? If it was just 10 a penny, dime a dozen, you wouldn't go to the trouble of copyrighting the ingredient. So, after testing it, I try to be as objective as I can. I thought consistency doesn't really matter. It's as long as it does the same job, who cares? Trying to be objective, because but it doesn't do the same job. It's not as luxurious. It's not as moisturising. It's not as capable of doing what it should do. Which it's always been top of its field. It's got a big market share. It's from a massive company. And that's obviously the original reason I started using it, because it was always coming top. So basically, we have an inferior product, an ideologically motivated contrivance, which is not in the best interest of the product, is not in the best interest of the consumer, and it's led to a inferior product. Now, when we look at when this change was, undertaken or, done, it was at the height of woke, 2002, 2003, the height of woke, everything was woke, vegan, everything was vegan, everyone's vegan. Now, I've got nothing against vegans, it's actually a beautiful thing that you don't want to hurt animals, I like that. So it's nothing against vegans, But what I can't understand is, why not give people a choice? Why not give people a choice? It's like, I don't know, it's like Coca-Cola. You can still get classic Coke. You can still get classic Coke with all the sugar, all the additives, all the, the naughties in there, lots of naughtiness. But you've got lots of variants. You can have the, Coke Zero, Diet Coke, Coke Lemon, or I don't know, whatever. There's loads of them. Why couldn't NIVEA do that? Why couldn't you just offer a vegan variant? Keep the original formula with the original copyrighted little special something. E-carrot. That's the copyrighted name, but it's basically a lanolin alcohol. And that's what I can't understand. Why force people to have the new inferior product? And especially when it's not even about cruelty, is it? sheep getting sheared. It's not cruel. In a twisted, sick sort of way, the lack of demand for that lanolin alcohol that is made from sheep's wool has probably led to, some sheep having to go. Because if they're no longer viable, it's not like they're going to go toddle off to a sheep retirement home. They're going to get the chop. So it's a little bit of a twisted irony to it as well. So, yeah. I can't understand it. I can't abide by it. It's not the same. There's one thing you don't do. You don't mess with a man's moisturiser. You don't do it. There's lines. There's lines in the sand. There's a few things you can get away with. But when you start messing with a man's moisturiser, that's beyond the pale. So I think NIVEA have crossed the line. I think they've been very, very naughty. I do. I think it's an ideologically motivated contrivance which has led to an inferior product. I imagine it's cheaper to make now, rapeseed oil, hydrogenated rapeseed oil. I imagine that's a lot cheaper to manufacture than that lanolin alcohol. But that to me is the key ingredient. And it's objective. I've got them side by side. I went to great, lengths to get this one because I knew, I maybe it's just in my mind. Maybe I'm just being a bit, psychosomatic about it. Where you think because they've changed it, you suddenly suspicions there. It's kind of like someone spitting in your soup. If someone spat in your soup, if you don't know someone spat in your soup, you're just going to eat it and go, it's lovely. But yeah, objectively, it's not the same. So yeah, I think NIVEA, you need to be put on notice. I think my NIVEA soft brothers and sisters need to stand together. We're not taking this. We want the original back. Okay? We're not playing games. We don't want your hydrogenated rapeseed oil. I don't want to feel like a rapeseed. I want to feel like a woolly mammoth, yeah? I've had a little shave, I've had my hair cut. I want to feel like a woolly mammoth. I want to feel like a mastodon, yeah? Strolling down the tundra. That's what I want, the tundra. I'll say that again, tundra. Strolling down it. I want to feel like a mastodon, a woolly mammoth again. I want the original back. I want the lanolin alcohol in it, okay? This one, beautiful. So yeah, we'll leave it there. It's, yeah. Why would you change an ingredient that you've went to the trouble of copywriting, probably at great expense, to replace it with an inferior, rapeseed oil, hydrogenated? Rapeseed oil's bad enough, 10 a penny cheap. But hydrogenated, oh God, just the sound of it. I think there's a financial motivation, more money for them, more cash, that dirty money, yeah, you want it. The escarole, that ching ching, the moolah, you want that moolah. Yeah. Why can't we have a variant, vegan variant, the original, the creme de la creme, the proper? And yeah, don't mess with a man's moisturiser. Big mistake. You made a big mistake, yeah. All right. Yeah, I want to feel like a woolly mammoth again. So we'll leave it there. This isn't good. I've actually, I've got 5 of these little babies coming, so I'll be all right for now. So you've got time to change this. Make everyone happy. Make my vegan brothers and sisters happy. I love vegans. They're usually lovely, caring people. They want to help people. They don't want to hurt little animals. And you imagine little animals are getting hurt to little animals. But ironically, you probably made, this little change has probably led to the death of animals. Woolly mammoth, not a rapeseed. And we'll sign off for another one. There's my little remote. Bit of a distance. I'm coming at you. Until the next time, Crazy Al signing off.